Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Kaslo Sourdough Pasta recipe, 15 or 20 minutes. Hi, I'm Jeanette Martin, Brand Ambassador for the Kaslo Sourdough Pasta Company, and I'm having a fantastic Monday. It was rainy and sunny, and now it's a little overcast outside, but that's okay because I am inside and I'm going to be cooking up this incredible adaptation because it's all about adapting our lives right now, being inside, going out for a walk and staying that 6 meters to 2 feet, 2 meters to 6 feet away. It's about using what's in our pantry. It's about going when we're going shopping and getting that list and making that list ahead of time to get in, to get out, and to get back home and to enjoy each other with each other. So those of you that are just tuning on right now, Jeanette Martin, Brand Ambassador for Trails Table. I am so excited today because I figured something out. So first of all, I want to thank you so much for coming along on this journey as we are creating these pastas just for you, from my home kitchen to your home kitchen. So give me a thumbs up, or if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. But I figured out something. So last week the camera was a little shaky. So I appreciate you guys as always figuring that out. So today I figured something out. We got a solution. We got a little problem. We got to figure out a solution. So before we get cooking, I want to show you what I've done, and let's get into this recipe. So I don't have at home a camera stand or a mic stand. It's just me and my phone. So how am I going to come across a lot better and you guys will be able to see me better? Well, take a look at a couple of innovative things I did. So this is from my car because in British Columbia, I think everywhere, you have to be hands-free. So this was on my dashboard and it's now my phone holder because in the back of my phone, I happen to have a magnet. So this is a magnet and I'm able to put that on and adjust my camera down accordingly. So pretty cool, eh? And then come on over to my stove. I'm going to take the olive oil out of the way. This is my ingenuity of my camera stand. So I took some wedges that you would snap off and to level with, a rubber band, some heavy-duty 2-way tape, a magnet, again, because the back of my phone has a magnet, weighted it down with some beans, put it on a book, and look at this, guys. Back to me just for a second. This is where it gets exciting. I'm able to attach, and look, we can cook, and you can see me, and I can use both my hands. So let's get cooking. Bring it back over here. So wasn't that incredible? You just got to adapt to what's going on in the world right now. So let's get, before I put you down, a little jiggly there. I'll get it right. We're going to make a moussaka using pasta. And traditionally, it's made with eggplant. It's made with lamb, with a white sauce, some vegetables, baked. Well, I don't have all that time, and I want to make this with the same flavors, but in a pasta. So I chose the quinoa pasta, and the reason why I chose that one is quinoa has got a very earthy flavor. So my ground lamb has got an earthy flavor as well. So it's going to marry up with the flavors so well. And it's going to cook nice and quickly as well. So just to go through my ingredients. So tonight we've got 125 grams of ground lamb. I went the 80 grams of the quinoa pasta, dry measure first. Because I'm not making a white sauce and I want to put a little bit of a creamy cheese in there, I've got 1/3 of a cup of the cottage cheese. So from my freezer, this was one small roasted green bell pepper that I had in my freezer. Then I had one fresh orange pepper that I cut up. These are from my freezer. I get the big bin of the cherry tomatoes and I stick them in my freezer. So I've got, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 little cherry tomatoes that I'm going to be sauteing up. That's going to create part of my sauce. I've got about 1/2 cup of frozen kale, 1/4 of a red onion, if you see the size of my hand, so 1/4 of a red onion, about 1 clove of garlic. This was a pretty big one of Russian garlic. I'm going to use 1 slice of my eggplant. And I'm just going to show you now so that I can get prepping on the other side. I have the 1 slice, and if you can kind of see how it's glistening? I've taken a teaspoon of sea salt, put it on the top, also put a little bit of that on the bottom. If you can kind of see how it's moist there, I want to draw out some of the moisture and the bitterness out of that. Oh, hi, Trina. Thank you for turning on. So let's come back to me. So let's get cooking as I get my camera back there and come down. I thought I would show you a really cool way. Oh, number one, chefy tip number one is always put a damp cloth down before you put your cutting board down. Keeps the board nice and stable. And those that are tuning on for the first time today, back in 1983, I went to culinary school. My dad went to culinary school. My brother went to culinary school. So food was very important in my family, very connected. I'm from a very large family. So I thought I would show you with a red onion. And I'm trying not to be jiggly because I'm so excited. Okay, so how you want to prepare the onion, and it's super duper easy and not going to cry. The first thing what I did is I quartered it, kept the skin on, and I still have the bottom, is you kind of cut your knife down, okay? Hold it down and pull it forward. So you can kind of see that the skin stays away, and there you go. And that's how you're able to clean that up really well, really easily. So I want a pretty fine dice because this is going to cook pretty fast. I'm going to come down, but I'm not going to go all the way to the core end because that's going to keep my onions stable for me. Coming down about a centimeter, coming across, holding it together, watching our fingers. And then I'm going to take the knife and come down in about, I would say a centimeter squared slices. Remember, I'm making this for one because I live by myself. If you were making this for your family of 4, you would use a whole onion. Into my little dish. And believe it or not, people, I had all these little dishes, so I think I was supposed to be a little Food Network star here with you. And I love whiteware because it really sets off what the meal is going to look like. So I've got my onions chopped. Okay. Going to take my garlic, and I want it pretty finely sliced and small bits. So here you go. You ready? The back of your hand. Nice and easy. Kind of rough chop it. Number one, that helps to release the volatile compounds that are in the garlic. To release them. By volatile, I don't mean that they're bad for you. It's just you get the oils out. So there we go. We have nicely, finely chopped garlic. Again, if you were a family of 4, probably take 2 cloves of garlic. Okay, gonna wash my hands. Good prep cook always has what's called a bar cloth or bench cloth ready to go. And I'm just gonna leave I'll come back for the eggplant because I want more of that water to come out, or the bitterness to come out. I'll rinse it off and give it a little bit of a chop, but we're gonna go over to my new way so you can see how I'm cooking. So come on with me and let's go over to the stove. If you want to let me know where you're tuning in from, that would be greatly appreciated so we can see who our audience is. And you know what? Let's turn this around. My pasta water is ready to go. So this was, for that 80 grams, I had 6 cups of boiling water and about 1/3 of a teaspoon of sea salt in there. You always put your sea salt in when the water comes up to boil. If you put your salt in before, sorry about my water heater there in the background, before it boils, what that can do is it can corrode the inside of your pot. So you'd never want to do that. So I'm going to put in my quinoa pasta. Okay, and really important, I'm putting my timer on for 5 minutes. Yes, 5 minutes. It really only does take 5 minutes. Okay, so that's on. Gonna slightly put that on there. Perfect. So let's use this. Oh, my new fangled holder. Isn't this exciting? So hopefully you guys can all see. So I'm gonna get my pan on. Pretty high heat right away. And I've got some really cool spices that are going to be going into this. And we're going to start with the spices first. And then we're going to put in the meat. And we put in the spices first because we want to bloom the spices. So I would say a teaspoon of oil. I've got a really good non-stick pan here by Allclad. Shameless plug for Allclad. I absolutely love their pots and pans. Oh, and my pasta water. Always got to keep two eyes going. Okay, so there we go. So this is the spices that I'm using. So number one, this is za'atar. And this has got a combination of like there's sesame seeds in there, and oh my gosh, what else is in here? Roasted sesame seeds, sumac, thyme, salt in here. And then the secret spice of moussaka, or moussaka, however you pronounce it, is cinnamon. That's a very warm spice. Also, I have in my pantry from Epicure some baba ganoush seasoning. And I'm going to put maybe half a teaspoon in there. I don't know if you can hear the spices starting to sizzle. I'm opening up those spices, getting to what's called blooming. I want big, full flavors. I don't want them to burn. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat down, and that's enough just to kind of open them up. Going to put in my 125 grams of lean lamb. If you don't like lamb, you're more than welcome to use ground turkey. You're more than welcome to use ground beef, ground veal, ground pork. But historically, moussaka is done with ground lamb. Give my pasta water a bit of a stir. Now is a good time to add in the onions and the garlic. This way the garlic's not going to burn. There's nothing worse than burnt garlic. And the onions are, out of all my vegetables, are the hardest, meaning the density of the vegetable is going to take a little bit longer. And plus I want to get those garlic and the onions married in with those other spices. Oh, can you take a look at that? And you kind of see the little roasty bits there. Only issue with this. Are you having a good time out there? I'm going to be like popping up and down. I'm going to call myself the pop-up show. Check my heat. Right now my heat's pretty high. I have a gas stove. I'm going to turn it down to medium. This goes really quickly. I'm at about 75–80% of my lamb is cooked now. I want to add in my little cherry tomatoes that were from frozen. They're going to cook very fast and pop. Did you guys know that you could freeze little tomatoes? I get the big bin from the grocery store, and I just chuck the whole bin into my freezer. Any questions I can answer out there? Oh, that beep means I've got one more minute on my quinoa. And I have to tell you, the quinoa really does cook in 5 minutes. It's a very quick cooking pasta. You want to take it off. And remember, I'm going to be marrying my pasta into here. So we want to make sure that we don't overcook the pasta as well, because there's going to be what's called carryover cooking. I'm really enjoying this camera action, just to let you know. Okay, my tomatoes are getting a little bit. Got a bit of a spatula here. Give them a little squish. Careful not to burn yourself. This is going to make enough for 2 meals. When I take a look at this now, or one big hearty meal. I'm gone for a big walk. Okay, let's add in, I'll be right back. I need to, hey, somebody out there watch my pan for me, okay? I want to get this pasta water drained. Okay, pasta's drained, ready to go. Now I want to add in my roasted green peppers. How I did those is I cut them in half. I put them on a sheet tray, a little olive oil, and baked them in the oven until they were quite soft. And then I froze them. I got a big bag of peppers that were on special, and that's how I preserve them. Also, what I do with when you get the big bag of peppers and you're not going to use them all, really good idea is you cut them in half, seed them, put them cut side down on some parchment paper, throw them in the freezer, freeze them till they're rock hard, and then put them into a Ziploc. Easy, take them out, chop them up, nice, and that works really well. So in that goes. As you can kind of see, we're starting to create a little bit of a sauce there. Let's add our kale. And this is just some frozen kale that I had. And now I'm going to add a few other seasonings. Where's my spoon? Oh, no spoon. So a little bit of Italian seasoning. With the Italian seasoning, I want to give it a pinch. That again opens up the flavors. Maybe about a half a teaspoon. Oh yeah, I can start smelling it now. It's quite deliciously smelling. Okay. And I want to add just a little bit of grated nutmeg. You'll see it with the cinnamon and the nutmeg. Those are what's called a warm spice. Just adds a little bit of warmth and background. Also sweetness to the recipe. Just about maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon. Oh, it's smelling. Oh, as soon as that nutmeg hit it in there, oh my gosh, it was quite deliciously smelling. So I'm just checking my vegetables. And then I'm also going to check my seasoning. Do I need some pepper? Do I need some salt? And I'm not going to get a spoon. Yep, it does need a little salt. Oh, and I'm going to get the eggplant. Rinsing off the eggplant. And cutting it up pretty fine. In goes the eggplant. In goes, oh, I'm going to say about a half a teaspoon of sea salt. Good couple grates of pepper. At this point, you want to cook it down. A little bit more than what I would doing here in the advent of time. At this point, you could put this into a dish and then put your white sauce on the top and bake it in the oven. Want to cook out the eggplant till it gets a little bit softer. I'm going to add my quinoa pasta. And you'll see that there was a little bit of water that I reserved in my pasta. That helps to create a little bit of the sauce. Going to stir in now that 1/3 cup of cottage cheese because it's acting like my white sauce. It's a 2% cottage cheese. Turn my heat off, grab my trivet. I'll be right back. Bringing my pan over because we're going to plate this up now. Oh, I promised to get the hang of this. Oh, there we go. So I've got a nice little dish, little white dish. Like I said, I like using the whiteware for my, because I like my meal Oh, and you see this, the cheese is just getting a little stringy. I'm just going to go get a spoon. This is real cooking, people. A little bit on my plate. That's a really good serving. Clean up my plate. Then I love, again, shameless plug, Nona Pia balsamic reductions. They're so easy. They're gluten-free. There's no thickeners in them. It's all just really good ingredients in here. They've done the hard work for me. I want to make this a little fancy. It's my own dinner, and why not? I deserve it. So give it a little bit. This is the Cabernet Merlot. I think the depth of that red wine flavor will pair very nicely with this. That sitar seasoning as a little bit of a garnish on top. And there you have it. There is your moussaka inspired pasta made with the quinoa. Total time about 10 minutes to make this. So again, Jeanette Martin, brand ambassador for the Kaslo Sourdough Pasta Company. I'm so happy you came along with me tonight as I'm learning my new system on how to use my camera in a much more efficient and fun way. As I said earlier when I was talking to a friend, a little bit more professional in this amateur person. So enjoy the day. Any questions about the recipe, please drop a comment. Forward this recipe on to a friend who likes moussaka and is missing it at their favorite restaurant. Maybe they can make it at home as well. From my home to your home, God bless. Good eating, and it has to be Kaslo Sourdough Pasta. Enjoy the day, everybody, or enjoy the night, everybody.